this is Beelit, and this is going to be a how to play guide for Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 1. Please take note, this is not a combo guide, this is not a combo tutorial, this is how to actually play the character. If you're looking for combos, look at the trillions of other videos, I'm sure, that are on YouTube right now. Combos are very easy to find. This is if you want to learn how to actually play the character. So let's hop into it. First thing, general gameplay for Scorpion. He is not a super heavy rushdown character. He is a neutral based character. He really kind of excels at checking your opponent just outside of their buttons, right in here. He harasses right outside the range of this standing 2. Cool thing is his movement is enough that he can really kind of walk into this range and walk back out pretty easy. So he baits the opponent to pressing buttons, and then he punishes them when they do with this fantastic move. His secondary string here is the 1-2 right in here. You'll see that whip goes crazy. The second hit of the 2-1 is a mid. The second hit of the 1-2 is a high, so keep that in mind. Outside of that, he's got a couple other tools that you're going to be using around this jump in range. Of course, you also have the jump 3. But once you get just a little bit outside of that, that's when you're going to start to put some of the other tools on the table. You're going to be looking at your back 3 right in here. You'll see that is a 2-hitting move. When you're far out, it's going to be 1 hit just on the max range. You'll also have, of course, the classic spear. This is fast. This is really effective. You can throw this out. You absolutely can. Now, there are some characters who can full screen punish it, but if you're in a matchup where a character cannot, do not be afraid to throw this out from time to time. Don't go crazy with it, because you're going to lose a lot of ground and you're going to lose a lot of momentum and allow your opponent to get in if you're just throwing this all willy-nilly. But throw it out from time to time, check your opponent, keep them honest, keep them thinking about it. Then you also have this here. This is a low. This is not unblockable like in some other games. Keep that in mind. It's also mega punishable to quite a few things in the game. A lot of projectiles will punish this one, even from full screen. So you'll see it's minus 38. Yeah! But the enhanced version is unblockable, and you do damage over time. So, you know, there's that. Outside of that, of course, you also have the teleport to keep your opponent honest, but those are really the big tools when you're outside of this jump range right in here. You will notice, as you're doing this, as you're doing spear, as you're doing back 3, your opponent is going to want to jump at some point. That's when you throw in his excellent anti-air options. He's got back 2 here, he's got the classic jump 3 into teleport. And then he also has this string here, which can actually catch people jumping as well. Converting off of this one's a little bit tough. It really kind of depends on the height of the character. So I wouldn't say that this is like your best go-to, but hey, it gets them away from you. You can continue the string and just knock them down here. But you'd be better served doing something like this back 2 here. If they're right on top of you, of course, the classic down 2. But I'm going to show you what those options look like in practice here. So there's the back 2, and let's see if I can get that follow-up. There we go. You can go into full combo from here. Of course, you got your classic back 2, but then also our jump 3, and of course the conversion there. As I mentioned, this works too, but getting a follow-up timing is really particular. They've got to be pretty low, so I wouldn't really suggest that. I wonder, actually, just out of curiosity, can you do this? Yeah, I guess you can. There's that too. That's the forward 4, which is one of his actual launchers. But I guess you can do that too. Now, let's move a little bit outside of that. We're going to talk about his buttons a little bit more, go into some of the details about that. As I mentioned, he is a neutral-based character. He's not really throwing in mix-ups. That's not really what you're doing with Scorpion. You're going to notice he only has one standing overhead inside of his move list, and it's the 3rd input of a string. You're not hitting anybody with this unless they just don't know about it. Of course, you got your jump-in attacks over here, but they're pretty standard, nothing super special when it comes to the air attacks. You will notice also all of his starting buttons, except for one and except for his pokes, except for just one of them, is going to be a high. So you're going to start here, high, high. This is a poke, so it's mid here. This is high. This is high. This is high. This is his only starting button outside of his pokes that's going to hit a crouching opponent. This is the forward 3. This is also one of your go-to starter strings for converting your hits into combo damage. On block, the first hit, if memory serves, is -6. -4, sorry. The launch is -6 here. So you're not going to be in a crazy amount of trouble for throwing this out, which is good because you need to be able to threaten with the mid at some point. It's a 12 frame startup here as well. So that's really good because you need to have something to really kind of stop them. He's going to struggle. Scorpion's going to kind of struggle up close. Really all he's got is his pokes here when you're up close like this. And if those aren't working, well, you are crap out of luck. That is going to be the weakness, the drawback to Scorpion. So once we have our presence kind of established, we're getting the idea of how to go into neutral. That's when we're going to start looking at how we convert into damage. I'm not going to go into combos in this video, but I am going to talk about the things that you need to learn how to combo from. Big things to learn combos for will be our anti-airs right here. So that back 2, the jump 3, 1-2 if you can manage it. But I would say if you're reading them that well that you can get to the second hit of that string, probably just put the back 2 in there instead. Much easier, much more consistent combo-wise. Actually, you know what? Let me show you why I say that. I want to show you a little bit about why this 1-2 is not consistent. There you go. See, if you're hitting them at the height there, then you're going to notice it's kind of hard to really convert. So that's why you can just finish the string and get them down onto the ground. The teleport follow-up can be really particular. The spear is really tough. They've got to be lower. So it's just not the best option there. But if you just finish the string, that is totally fine. But those are things that you want to learn how to convert from. Of course, your 2-1 here is incredibly important converting from. You need to get really comfortable with that. Your 1-2, you can throw that out here. This one's going to be a little bit harder because you're really primarily looking for the second hit. So hit confirming it is going to be kind of tough. This is really going to be what you use for punishes because it's going to be a 7-frame startup here with the standing 1. Whereas it's a 10-frame startup for the 2 here. So you're probably going to just end up going for the 1-2 when it comes to punishes, stuff like that. You also have, if you have enough time, 3-3. This is going to be good because it's really strong damage here. You'll also notice that standing 4 is pretty fast, so you can use that as a starter for your punishes. Outside of that, nothing really too crazy. If you want to go straight into the forward 3, you can also do that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how we structure combos, but I'm not going to go into combos themselves. I'm going to talk to you about Scorpion's restand. We have the spear here, and you'll notice that when you hit with the spear, your opponent stays standing, even if they were in the air at first. Let's see if I can show you this here. So notice how he was in the air, but the spear put him back on his feet. This only happens one time in your combo when you use spear. If you use spear 2 times in a combo, you'll notice splat straight to the ground. A restand allows you to continue your offense without having to deal with timing for your opponent's wake up or some of the extra things that come with it. So it can be really advantageous. Scorpion, after his teleport, is going to be +9, which allows you to go for a throw, or to bait the throw. If you've established to your opponent that you're going for this throw a lot, they decide they want to press a button to try to tech it, you walk backwards, hit them with this 2-1, and now they're getting hit all over again. Now, in order to make sure that we get this restand, we can't use the spear multiple times. This forces us to construct our combos a little bit differently. Luckily, we have cameos to help bridge the gap. I'm using Serena right now because I think that Serena is probably the strongest character for Scorpion in being able to consistently get to this restand opportunity. So I'm going to show you a little bit over here. There we go. So I did about 380 here. I ended +9 with my opponent standing up. I don't have to worry about timing for their wake up. They instantly are going to have to deal with what I decide to do right afterwards. So if I decide I want to go for the throw, they got to tech the throw. And if I really establish that, they're starting to look for it. They press the button to try to tech it. I walk backwards, hit them with standing 2, and convert into a combo one more time. Sorry. So you need to be able to kind of understand how to get your combos structured for the desired effects. If you don't care about restands, then hey, go for straight damage. Do, something like this. If you just really don't care. Okay, that's going to be good damage, but notice that your opponent gets up pretty much at the same time that you do. Depending on how high you do that last ender, they might even get up before you do. But you just decide, if I can close out the round by just going for damage, I'm going to do it. That's totally fine. What I would suggest is that if you are going to be looking for something consistent, but you don't really care about the restand, here is an option for an ender. There you go. So you'll notice that pulls the opponent to you, so you have the opportunity to kind of bait wake up attacks. You have the opportunity to do throw on their wake up, do a little bit of pressure with this forward 3 here. But I would kind of want you to keep in mind that Scorpion's not really going to excel from up close. So definitely use this as needed. Once you get a little bit more comfortable with how you can pressure your opponent, or you really feel like you're in your opponent's head and you know how they're going to function, that kind of thing might be good for you. But I want you to understand a little bit about combo structure, the advantages, and I want you to think a little bit about how you end your combos to give you different effects. So we're going to go over a little bit of cameos. I'm going to show you some clips, show you some of the different things that you can do with different cameos. You'll notice that some of them are designed to help you when you're up close, since Scorpion is kind of weak in those scenarios. Some of them are designed just to do specific things, maybe matchup wise. For instance, there's one with Sub-Zero that is really good for when your opponent has a strong projectile presence. So I'm going to go through some of those clips for you right now. So you can take your cameo and decide to give him some 50-50s. Here I'm going to show you Striker. He has a low and he has an overhead. So essentially, any string that you're in at any time is a 50-50 string. You also have that if it hits too. But now every string that you have is a 50-50 string. You can bring it in whenever you like. So this is going to kind of help with that up close presence when your opponent is just kind of down backing and they have absolutely nothing that they can get hit by outside of the throw game here. If an opponent has the life lead against Scorpion, you really kind of feel that. So this is an option that you have to kind of mitigate one of the weaknesses that Scorpion normally has to deal with. One of the things I really like about Sector is that he comes in with this missile delayed, but it allows you to set up some really good opportunities to make things safe that normally aren't safe, and to also create some strong pressure that normally Scorpion wouldn't really get. The first thing I'm going to show you is in the throw. Watch this. He gets up into a missile. You can actually call Sector in the middle of your back throw. The animation that you're looking for, once Scorpion has the spear in the head, that's when you actually call it. Or I think maybe it's in the neck that he sticks it, wherever. That's when you call Sector. Your opponent is going to get up with a missile coming down on top. One of the things that Scorpion can do is this move here, which gives him a pretty decent amount of chip, which you'll see up here. Now here's the negative part about this. It's minus 25 on block, which sucks. That means you're doing, you know, what, probably 5% chip, but you're going to take a 40% combo for it. Not worth it, right? Well, if you have a cameo like Sector, boom, you can call that in on top. You're doing more chip with the missile, of course, but you're also safe. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, I would greatly appreciate it if you would share the video, put a like on it, support the video however you feel appropriate. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all next time.